Hi, everyone, and welcome to the LM Report. I'm your host, Lima, and you're joining me for episode 4 on this third day of April 2025. Today's title is a jaw-dropper: largest pedo platform shutdown. Bongino sends message: do not mistake silence for inaction. We're diving headfirst into a whirlwind of seismic shifts. Deep state insiders being purged from Washington. A massive pedophile network dismantled in Europe. Judicial battles erupting across the country. Economic resets threatening globalist power. And Trump's team laying the groundwork to reclaim America from a sprawling criminal syndicate. This isn't just news. It's a turning point in history, and we've got a ton to cover. So, grab a drink, get comfortable, and let's break it all down together. This is going to be a deep, intense, and eye-opening journey. The deep state purge, a methodical takedown. Let's start with what's unfolding in D.C. The deep state, those entrenched corrupt politicians, tech billionaires manipulating narratives, fake news outlets spinning lies, and shadowy puppet masters pulling strings, is facing an existential crisis. Trump and his administration are on a mission, systematically rooting out their operatives from the Capitol and beyond. They're targeting the sleepers, those bureaucrats buried deep in agencies, waiting to sabotage from within, and the leakers spilling secrets to derail the agenda. You've got people out there shouting, "Where are the arrests? I need to see handcuffs now." I get the impatience. It's been a long fight. But here's the hard truth. We've got one shot at this, and it has to be done right. Rushing in risks letting these criminals slip away, and that's a failure we can't afford. Picture the team Trump's assembled. Kash Patel running the FBI, Dan Bongino as his deputy, Pam Bondi at the DOJ, RFK Jr. at HHS, John Ratcliffe at the CIA, Tulsi Gabbard at DNI, Kristi Noem at DHS. These aren't just names. They're seasoned fighters, confirmed just weeks ago, stepping into agencies infested with deep state loyalists. The FBI alone has over 35,000 employees. Add the DOJ, CIA, DHS, and you're talking tens of thousands, most of whom despise this administration, many tied to acts of outright treason against the United States. Do you think Patel and Bongino are going to slap together some half-baked arrests and pray the system doesn't sabotage them? Not a chance. They're moving deliberately, dotting every I, crossing every T, building cases so ironclad that no corrupt judge or insider can unravel them. That's why Dan Bongino dropped a bombshell message: do not mistake silence for inaction. It's not just a soundbite. It's a signal. Things are happening behind closed doors, even if the headlines aren't screaming yet. They're cleaning house at a breakneck pace. Just today, Laura Loomer went to the White House, exposed 3 leakers: Brian Walsh, Senior Director of Intelligence, Tom Boudry, overseeing tech, and David Faith, and they were fired on the spot. That's not silence. That's precision surgery, cutting out the cancer before it spreads. These aren't random bureaucrats. They're lifers, leftovers from past regimes, feeding info to hostile media to undermine Trump's moves. Bongino, Patel, Bondi, they're not sitting on their hands. They're scouring their agencies, identifying the rot, ensuring that when they strike, it's a knockout punch. This isn't about the next 4 years. It's about dismantling a criminal syndicate that's been strangling this country for decades and making sure it stays gone. Look at history. Reagan rolled back a ton, tax cuts, economic boom, but the deep state waited him out, reset everything after he left. Trump's first term? Huge wins, border security, trade deals, then Biden tore it all down in months. This time's different. They're not just pruning branches. They're digging up the roots, and that includes the Federal Reserve, their limitless credit card. Without it, the borrowing stops, the laundering dries up, and their entire operation collapses. It's not a side quest. It's the heart of their power, and Trump's team is zeroing in. The pedophile network bust, a global wake-up call. Now, let's pivot to something earth-shattering. Europol just took down one of the world's largest pedophile networks, KidFlix, based in Germany but stretching across more than 30 countries. This isn't some small fry bust. 1.8 to 2 million users worldwide, thousands of suspects identified, arrests piling up fast. The scale's mind-blowing, but the details hit harder. This wasn't a handful of loners in basements. It was a sophisticated, international trafficking ring exploiting children on an industrial level. Where did those kids come from? They weren't volunteers or studio recruits. These were victims kidnapped, trafficked across borders, forced into horrific acts for profit and power. This takedown's a bombshell, and it's only the beginning. The deep state's sweating bullets because this isn't an isolated incident. It's tied to their networks. Follow the threads. Who supplied the children? Who funded the platforms? Who shielded the operators? It's going to point to powerful players, NGOs with shady funding, shell companies laundering cash, maybe even government insiders turning a blind eye. Trump's team, especially RFK Jr. at HHS with his focus on trafficking, knows this is a thread worth pulling. When it unravels, it'll expose a web of corruption linked to child exploitation, pedophilia, even the trans agendas they've pushed as smokescreens. The storm's brewing, folks, and when it breaks, it'll be a reckoning like nothing we've seen before. Millions of users implicated, entire systems laid bare. Think about the logistics. 2 million users don't just stumble onto a platform like that. It's marketed, protected, encrypted, someone's greasing the wheels. Europol's already tracing servers, payments, trafficking routes. This could blow open cases like Epstein's all over again, client lists, safe houses, the works. The deep state's desperate to bury it, but the cat's out of the bag. People are waking up, asking questions, and that's the last thing they want. Judicial overreach, the Boston showdown. Switching gears to the judiciary, things are getting wild. In Boston, Judge Mark Somerville dismissed charges against Wilson Martell LeBron, an illegal alien with a rap sheet for serious drug trafficking and a federal warrant. Then he held ICE agent Brian Sullivan in contempt for deporting him outside the courthouse. Suffolk County DA Kevin Hayden upped the ante, threatening felony charges against Sullivan. This is beyond absurd. An ICE agent enforcing federal law, doing his job, and they're trying to lock him up for it. It's not justice. It's a blatant deep state power play, using the courts to protect their assets. They miscalculated, though. U.S. Attorney Leah Foley came out swinging, sending scorching letters to both Somerville and Hayden. She invoked the Supremacy Clause, federal law overrides state interference, and laid it out. You may hate immigration enforcement, but there's no legal ground to prosecute federal officers for it. Interfering with ICE? That's a felony, she warned. Somerville's contempt ruling? Legally dead, courts have zero authority over feds acting under duty. This was a deep state flex, and it got smashed. These judges and DAs know the law, they just don't care. They're shields for the syndicate, planted to derail Trump's agenda, but it's backfiring. People, even some Democrats, are scratching their heads, saying, why punish the guy stopping a drug trafficker? Tom Homan and Kristi Noem's ICE teams aren't backing down. They just nabbed another MS-13 gang member off the streets. These aren't random sweeps. They're targeting the deep state's hired guns, illegals used for hits, chaos, murder. Law-abiding citizens don't torch cities or assassinate rivals. So they've imported criminals to do it. The judiciary's scrambling to protect them, but the cracks are showing. A two-tiered system laid bare for all to see. Hunter Biden and the AutoPen bombshell. Speaking of exposure, Hunter Biden just voluntarily surrendered his D.C. law license, dodging disbarment over his laundry list of scandals. Tax evasion, influence peddling, foreign deals. It's a minor dodge, but it's a sign the heat's rising. His dad, Joe, and their inner circle should be staring down prison bars. Corruption's been documented for years. Some might not make it that far. When the walls close in, don't be surprised if a few opt for the easy exit. Trump's team isn't stopping at Hunter, though. Acting U.S. Attorney Ed Martin's digging into Biden's pardons, tied to an escalating AutoPen scandal. Missouri AG Andrew Bailey sparked this, asking the DOJ to probe whether White House staff exploited Joe's cognitive decline. Falling asleep in meetings, thinking he ran NATO, to push far-left orders without his consent. Biden's ex-chief of staff, Ron Klain, just dropped a book spilling the beans. Joe couldn't grasp basic concepts, nodded off during debate prep, was a shell of a leader. If he was that gone, who signed those executive orders? The AutoPen theory's picking up steam, staffers forging his signature to ram through agendas he didn't comprehend. Martin's on it, and if it pans out, every order, every pardon from late 2024 could be nullified. Even bigger, if Trump proves 2020 was an overthrow, rigged votes, laptop suppression, it all crumbles anyway. Either path, their legacy's ash. Wisconsin election, algorithm exposed. On the election front, Peter Bernegger's raising red flags about Wisconsin's 2025 Supreme Court race. Republican Brad Schimmel pulled 1 million votes but lost by 10 points to liberal Susan Crawford. 2 years back, Democrat Janet Protasiewicz won with 1 million votes, also by 10 points. Bernegger's data shows absentee ballots trickling in at a steady clip, keeping Crawford ahead like an algorithm tweaking the count in real time. Go back to 2020, same eerie pattern, margins holding tight no matter the turnout. Coincidence? Rasmussen's sarcastic, totally impossible, right? The evidence is stacking. Cheating's real, and Trump's team, with Elon Musk's tech eye, has been monitoring. They're not rushing to court, timing's critical, and they're building a case to end it for good. Tesla vandals, Democrats eating their own. Meanwhile, the deep state's street operatives are fumbling. Another Tesla vandal got nabbed, a mom in Minnesota keying a car while her kid flipped off the camera. These aren't lone wolves, they're coordinated, fueled by anti-Trump hate. Tesla's cameras are catching them daily, but here's the kicker, many Tesla owners are Democrats who bought into the green dream. Now their own party's trashing their cars and they're waking up baffled and angry. Polls show 49% of Dems want moderation. This infighting's pushing them away faster. It's a self-inflicted wound and it's accelerating the collapse. Global stakes, war drums and economic overhaul. Globally, the deep state's cornered. France's foreign minister says war with Iran's almost inevitable without a nuclear deal, convenient as Trump opens talks with Tehran. They'll try anything, cyber attacks on banks, false flags, to halt his economic reset. Tariffs are slamming globalists, and his push to ditch income tax by starving the Federal Reserve threatens their lifeline. No more trillion-dollar loans for NGOs, wars, riots, they're toast. The World Economic Forum, WHO, WTO, all their outfits wither without U.S. cash. Trump knows their playbook, his team's prepped to counter every desperate move. Judicial deep dive, DI and Russia hoax connections. Back to the courts, Judge Anthony Traynor blocked Ratcliffe and Gabbard from firing 19 DEI staffers at the CIA and DNI. Same guy who gutted John Durham's 2022 case against Igor Danchenko, the Steele dossier source, tossing key FBI evidence. He's a syndicate guard, kneecapped the Russia hoax probe, now protecting DEI bloat. Chief Justice John Roberts? Spent a week at Norm Eisen's 150-room Czech palace, tied to the FISA court that spied on Trump. It's a web, and people are connecting the dots, two-tiered justice in plain sight. The bigger picture, taking back the country. This isn't just about arrests, it's about dismantling the whole machine. Trump's been clear since 2016, the Federal Reserve, globalists, corrupt elites, they're all linked. He's cutting the funds, tariffs up, Fed down, starving the beast. No money, no riots, no false flags, no defense. The World Health Organization, NGOs, they collapse without cash. Charges come when they're broke and exposed. Bongino's right, silence is strategy, not surrender. They're cleaning house, building cases, ensuring no leaks or sabotage derail it. Look at history, JFK went straight at them, dead. Reagan made gains reversed. Trump's first term, undone. This time he's rallying the people first, educating them with JFK files, building a narrative. Most don't grasp the corruption's depth, he's waking them step by step. By Independence Day 2026, he wants the syndicate gutted, the Fed a shell, America self-sufficient. It's a sting operation and they're walking into it. That's it for today, folks. Be well, be safe, stay prepared. If this lit a spark, hit that subscribe button, join the LM Report community as we keep peeling back the layers. See you next time.